All right, guys. So we're gonna talk about TV, the best and worst of 2022. So I guess I'm gonna start off, and we're gonna end with this segment. We're gonna talk about not just like new shows, but seasons that came out as well. So for me, starting off with a season that I really, really enjoyed this year was Better Call Saul. You know, it ended this year. It's one of the best shows out there. I'm gonna actually say it's underrated because it's never won an Emmy. So if it's never won an Emmy, it's never won any Emmy for whatever weird reason. I don't know why, but it's amazing show. I definitely recommend anybody to watch it. And I think it's sad that it's gone, but you know, Breaking Bad universe had to end somehow. So
I've heard nothing but praise about it. At this point, I feel way too far behind on that Breaking Bad universe. I never watched Breaking Bad.
Same.
I haven't seen Better Call Saul.
You should watch Breaking Bad just for on its own sake.
You're not the first person to tell me. So don't worry. I will get to it.
Just for Jesse Pinkman. That's all
I just feel like it's too late. I feel like it's too late
never
to
too
enter
late
it.
to watch good television.
It's not too late.
I've heard everything you're saying 1,000 times. Don't worry.
Exactly.
Everyone who's watched it told me.
Yeah.
I finally watched something they haven't.
Nice.
I'll watch it, but
Okay.
I mean, that's compelling. I do love, who's the main guy? Like, what's his name, that actor?
Bryan Cranston.
I
Oh
think
no, for Better
Bob,
Call
I can't say
Odenkirk.
Yeah, him.
He's awesome. I saw him in that movie he was in recently, Nobody, and he's awesome.
Yes.
So I'm intrigued, but I have to watch Breaking Bad first.
Definitely. But yeah.
What's another?
I have a few shows I would like to talk about. Before, let's save Marvel shows for last,
Yes.
because it's a
There'll be a
big
lot to
year
talk
for
about.
It's gonna be a
Marvel.
controversial.
Let's save
There's a
Marvel
lot.
and Disney shows for last.
Yeah.
So that's
Perfect.
including
Right.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
I will mention Atlanta had 2 seasons released this year.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And-
Two seasons released in the same year.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the 3rd season and the 4th season, which is the last
Did not
one.
know that.
Yeah.
I still haven't finished. I still have like 2 more episodes. I'm low key like dragging it out because I don't want it to end.
It's,
That good?
yes, that show.
The show is,
It's beautiful.
it's so like incredible.
Okay, I have to watch it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I don't want to spoil the ending because OC
I
hasn't
haven't
watched
gotten
it,
it
but
yet.
Don't spoil anything.
I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm just gonna mention how it was a great show. It ended on a interesting note, and yeah, you know,
Is it the final season?
Yeah,
Yeah.
season 4 was
Oh,
the final
man.
season.
Season
Yeah.
4 is the last
I'm
season.
curious. It seems like the show is like, I don't know, like didn't it like really kind of evolve and like kind of turn into something like a lot of people weren't expecting?
It does that.
Okay.
Like season 3, for example, half of the episodes felt like it was a Black Mirror where we
Yeah.
focus on different characters.
Just like isolated stories,
But
that
they all
have nothing
had,
to
like-
do with the main
That's
characters.
sick.
but-
I have to watch it. I think I
So-
watched like the first season. I don't really remember. I have to like rewatch it and rewatch all
yeah.
How many seasons total?
4 seasons.
4
Okay.
seasons.
Oh, that's not a lot. I'll check it out.
Yeah. So yeah, that was another amazing show. That came
Yeah,
out.
Atlanta. Donald
Yeah.
Glover is amazing.
I gotta brush up on TV.
Yeah.
I feel like the biggest title this year that everyone and their mothers watched was House of
Dragons.
House
Yeah.
of Dragons. I mean, what can you say? It's Game of Thrones, but everything you love about it and like concentrated into like a great first season.
It delivered for me.
Yeah.
It really did. And
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I
I got my.
You don't have to if you don't want to. It's
Yeah.
fine. I mean, we'll just enjoy it. And
It's
you
just-
can just not enjoy it.
You
Yeah.
can just
It's like
stay
more
there.
dragons. It's like what you wanted.
You guys,
know what I mean?
know that I'm a Game of Thrones fan.
Yeah.
So
I think yeah.
if
And
you guys all enjoyed it, yes, I am.
Yes, she's a Game
Do you
of
know how
Thrones
many
fan.
times I've rewatched
Yes, exactly.
like
Yeah.
the good seasons?
Yeah.
it's I mean like I can't believe they pulled it off because it's like people were gonna tune in either way
Yeah.
because like even the people that were like burned had like you
Yeah.
know at least a
Yeah,
curiosity
I
to
was
check
the one
it
who
out.
hosted the whole season
Oh,
8
yeah.
thing. Don't you remember?
For
Scott's
sure.
just in the corner, like,
Okay,
no.
Scott.
Yeah.
Okay,
We all got together
I
to watch it at
believe
my
you.
place.
I believe you'll watch it. Okay, I'm just saying like the stakes were really high to make a show that didn't suck, and you know. They delivered.
They
It
did a
was
good
pretty
job.
good.
They did a good
It was
job.
like, I always say like Game of Thrones took a while for me to get into because that one's definitely of like a slow burn, especially like the
Yeah.
first season because it was
Yeah.
kind of world building, politics. This one kind of hits the ground running.
Yeah,
like the
it throws you
politics are
in.
already the stakes are already pretty high and they get higher and higher.
Yeah. On the topic of HBO shows, though, this might, since Game of Thrones might become a debate, but on the topic of HBO shows that I can't believe none of you guys have watched is Station 11.
Is that HBO?
Yeah, it is HBO, and it's great. It's like this post-apocalyptic show, but it centers around like relationships and also like relationships that you build with people that are not of your own blood. And how that is.
Ideally.
Yes.
You don't want them to have your same.
Well, not like romantic relationships.
No,
No.
different relationships
No.
in general.
It's
What do you want?
Friendships.
It's like
Okay.
Why did your mind
I
go
was
straight
like-
to that, OC?
Because he said
'Cause
Game
we're
of
talking
Thrones.
Game of
That's
Thrones.
why.
We just got off of
'cause
Game
of
of
Game of
that's
Thrones.
very true. Okay, no, there's no incest happening in the
Okay,
show.
just
Yeah.
making sure.
But it's
All
really
right.
about like the strength of like friendship and
Okay.
how you could build like familial bonds between people, and also just
I like that.
how risky like building relationships are as well. But Station 11 is great. The cinematography is unreal in that show. Also with cinematography, or I guess more of like mind-bending genre, Severance was good.
Severance was so good.
That was also another great show that had you think about like what the heck is going on, like what is this world?
Yeah, Adam Scott kills it in his like role as like the main character, and like it's definitely one of those shows where it just seems like kind of it's a big idea. I'm like really curious to see how they pull it out because it's already kind of getting like weird. Have you guys seen Severance?
No, it's
Okay.
the thing I need to check.
Well, it's kind of like a long like season long episode of Black Mirror because it
Okay.
is kind of a sci-fi thriller. The
Yeah.
premise is basically it's really clever. The title is like Severance because basically you undergo a procedure that makes you kind of separate into like two lives where your outside of work self doesn't remember your inside of work self, and then like your inside of work self doesn't remember the outside. So it's like these like whether you're like the
Interesting.
innie, like in the working person, like you don't, it's like you're working like
It's
24
two separate identities.
yeah, it's two separate identities. Like you're working 24/7, whereas when you're on the outside, it's just like you don't even remember your work life. And so that, obviously causes like complications
Yeah.
and like morals,
Say
dilemma.
no more. I will watch this.
Yeah.
And then it's like also kind of like when you're in the job part, they like make it very, it's strange. Like it doesn't even feel like real life. They do a good job of making you feel really like uncomfortable, and it's also kind of funny. There's like really funny
Okay,
parts
that's
in it.
good.
'Cause Adam Scott, of course.
Watch both. Watch Severance and Station 11.
Yeah, I
They're
think-
both really good.
yeah,
they
I-
both deal with moral dilemmas too.
Okay.
They're
I'm
both
really-
HBO or just one of them?
HBO is Station 11 and Severance is
Apple TV
TV.
Plus. And I
TV.
appreciate that Severance caught my attention because I was like, oh, let me see what else is on Apple TV Plus. And then Ted Lasso's on there, which is like now one of my favorite shows ever. I don't think the latest season came out this year, but I don't know. I just really love
Oh,
Ted
and if
Lasso,
you
so I
like-
had to shout it out.
If you like horror, Servant on Apple TV Plus is actually
Servant.
yeah, it's actually not bad either.
Oh, yeah, I'll check it out.
And then on shows that disappointed me, I have to say Rings of Power and Wheel of Time. Very
Rings of Power.
I
OC.
kind of, you know what I wish? I wish HBO got the rights to Rings of Power because I feel like the way that it was filmed on Amazon did not make it like
I don't know.
great.
I don't know if that's the problem. I think that HBO. I don't know if Lord of the Rings is like an HBO property.
It could be though. Like they could have explored. I know it's not their property, but if it was, I feel like it
mean,
would have.
like, I mean, not necessarily like. I feel like the vibe of HBO doesn't match the vibe of Lord of the Rings. If
But-
that makes sense.
Well, the bad thing is that Rings of Power was out the same time House of Dragon was out.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
couldn't help but to compare the way the two was filmed. The way like Rings of Power gave me was like old school cinematography, the battle scenes, the fight scenes. And then when you look at House of Dragon, like it's the choreograph is just so much better. It's not as corny and
Okay.
it's just filmed better too,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So, in my opinion, if HBO had gotten those rights and had redid Rings of Power, it would have been so much better. I would have been able to see like more of the beauty of that world. Even though there was beauty in Rings of Power the way Amazon did it, I just didn't think that it reached its full potential.
Do you think a downfall could be like they tried too much to make it like the films? Like if they had made it its own thing, maybe that would have been better?
I mean, it is in that world, right? So I think it is its own thing. I just think that the way they told the story and the way they told it visually just wasn't on par with what I was expecting it to be.
For sure.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things where it's like you can tell that they put so much money into Rings of Power, and there is a lackluster element where you compare it to something like Game of Thrones, or even like the original
even
Lord
the
of the
movies.
Rings movies. And yeah, I don't know. For me, I still very much enjoyed Rings of Power. I understand like it's not like the same level as Game of Thrones, but I felt like I was watching it and I was enjoying every episode. So
Yeah,
had
I
fun
still
with it.
liked it. I just
Yeah.
think that part took away for me. Took
From the
some stuff away
enjoyment.
from me. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I watched about halfway through the season and I didn't feel like compelled to finish it, but that's not to say I like didn't really enjoy the episodes or anything. I just feel like not a lot of people were watching it, or like a lot of people I know weren't
yeah.
watching it, but I think it's fine. I think it could be better, and I don't know. Maybe it's unfair to like talk about it because I haven't finished the season, but I don't know. I kind of see where both of you guys are coming from.
Well,
from
no, there's a
watching.
reason why you didn't finish it.
Yeah, true. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
I feel like you guys are both. I can see what both of you guys are saying for sure. So
Yeah.
I mean, same thing with Wheel of Time. I didn't read the book, but I know
I
there's.
watched the first episode.
Yeah,
and I was
it's-
like,
I watched it. I was like, and then I forced myself to watch like 5 more, and then I was like, I can't do it. There's this one particular scene where I was just like, all right, I'm ending it right here, right now, and it was when nobody has watched it, right? Besides,
Nah.
No, I don't
I
care.
like
Okay.
read the first book in anticipation of it,
Yeah.
like when the news came out, and then the trailer came out. I was like,
it is very,
And then-
very corny. Like the way that they portrayed their magical system
Mm.
and the hand movements and stuff. I couldn't get through it.
interesting.
that sucks.
Yeah, I feel like there's a discussion online about how it seems like there's a pattern of not creators, but of like different industries trying to take advantage of fantasy specifically, and they're kind of just acquiring whatever possible rights they can and not doing the due diligence to actually create
something
a
great.
good adaptation of
Yeah,
whatever the,
like book,
the thing
novel to TV show to
Yeah,
movie
and the-
adaptation
and-
is so different. Like you have to
Yeah.
capture what the readers are feeling and
Exactly.
what they visualize. Like Harry Potter, great. Lord of the Rings movies, great.
Great.
Hunger Games, great.
Mhm.
And then you have these shows that are adapting books that aren't doing their due diligence or
Yeah.
aren't doing the books justice, and it kind of just ruins it for the true fans of these series.
and that's
Damn.
the whole thing with The Witcher right now,
That's what I was
where
thinking of.
yeah,
Mhm.
where the sort of behind the scenes drama with that is that there's you have this team of writers who is either unaware of like the deep lore of the Witcher books and video games, or they know about it and they just don't care about it. Like it seems like the narrative is, and I'm not sure. Obviously, I don't know these people. I don't have that level of insight. But the discussion online seems to be that these writers don't care about the source material, and so because they don't care about the source material, they have no issues deviating from it in specific ways that that kind of turns off a lot of the fans of the source material.
Did you
And-
see that with the most recent Witcher season?
So my thing is, I don't have the connection to the original source material. So this show was my introduction into the Witcher world. I tried to play the video game. Honestly, I know it's great, like Witcher 3. I know it's like lauded as a fantastic game. I didn't really enjoy it because of the gameplay. I couldn't get into the gameplay of it as much, and so I haven't really gone that deep into the video game. That's just me. I don't know what it is, but the gameplay is getting in the way of my enjoying that game.
No, that show's doomed. But it is because of all the news that came out. But that is a good example of how like all these studios, it's just like a rat race to get the most
Yeah.
popular IP. And Netflix for sure is like an IP property monger
Right.
because I mean they have everything.
And it does kind of make me worried about Mistborn, because Brandon Sanderson was talking about how that is getting adapted.
It is.
But I mean, like,
Yeah.
Bro.
But the thing is, Brandon's gonna be
He's-
part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's a positive element. You have something like Game of Thrones, which at least for the first couple
Oh my God, I'm excited.
seasons, George R. R. Martin was involved, and he's involved for House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
So hopefully with
I
Brandon
don't think
Sanderson,
Brandon will allow something that he sees as bad to be released.
Hopefully.
And the magical system is very like logical
Particular, yeah.
in that series.
Yeah.
So it's very science based, I want to say. So it's hard to mess that up.
Sure. Yeah.
But
But they
any
could
other,
mess up story
Oh,
elements.
any other shows?
yeah, any other top or
Oh,
worst
yeah, definitely.
Oh,
shows?
definitely. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm thinking top because I don't really have worst right now in my head, but
Yes, you do.
Like
I
Loaded?
do. Well, in seasons.
Well,
talk
we're
about.
still saving the MCU shows.
Yeah, we're
and
obviously saving it for
Disney
later.
last.
I think we can start. I mean, like,
But in terms of, I guess, in terms of, I was gonna say another top that I really like was Bel Air. Bel Air was a
I didn't
really
watch
good
that.
series. That was a really good one.
Really?
It was basically it's like the drama adaptation of Fresh Prince of Bel Air, which at first I was like, I don't know if this was gonna work out, but it actually worked out pretty good.
Okay.
So I thought it was a really solid show, and I'm looking forward to the next season.
Speaking
So-
of, yeah,
So that was a good one.
thanks for the rec. Speaking of dramas, I think Christine, you and I watched The Bear, right? Did anyone else?
I did.
Watch
Oh,
The
I
Bear.
didn't really watch it, so no.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, I thought you're the one that brought it up earlier.
I was
like,
talking about
oh,
Black
yeah.
Bear with
Oh.
Aubrey Plaza, the movie.
Well, The Bear was great.
The Bear was great. The Bear was yeah, definitely watch The Bear if you
The
want.
Bear is a very like raw drama, and it's I mean, a lot of stuff happens in the show. I don't want to like spoil anything, but definitely into like really good dramatic performances. If you have any interest at all in like culinary culture too, it kind of digs deep into that. There's like different generations of people that have worked on the line in a kitchen, and like you have like a guy with like really great like culinary training take over like his brother's sandwich shop, and just like the disparity between like the cultures and like what's going on in his family life and background. And it's like it's a very interesting slice of life drama, and I definitely recommend it for any of you people out there.
Yeah, and then other season shows because most of them have been seasons that I liked. We can't forget about The Boy season 3. That was a
Oh, yeah.
really good
Oh,
one.
you're right.
That was a really
I
great.
did forget, but
Jensen
how
Ackles.
dare I?
Amazing
Yeah.
character.
Jensen Ackles, yeah, that's true.
He played a really good role.
did a great job.
We also can't forget about Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah, Cobra
We
Kai.
made a podcast on that. So
I think that's a good segue into superheroes, actually.
I mean,
Well,
I
yeah.
was gonna say before we get into superheroes, I guess what was gonna go in with season 4. I'd also don't want to forget about Stranger Things because that was an amazing.
That was big this year.
Great.
Yeah.
To me, it's my favorite seson 4 because it seems like a lot of season 4s this year was pretty shitty for me. Right? We
Yeah.
got Attack
You-
on Titan. We got yes, I'm saying season
Okay.
4 part 2 is pretty bad of Attack on
Was it
Titan.
part 2 or part 3 of
It was
season
part
4?
2,
Are you
'cause
sure?
no,
I
part
feel like
3
we're
How
getting
many
out.
parts are
There's a
there?
part-
And
I
will
thought
it
we were
ever
waiting
end?
for part 4, season 4, part 4.
We got that.
The way that these, oh my
we
god.
got another season 4 I didn't like was Young Justice. We'll get into that. Me and Scott, we got something in with that. And then even Dragon Prince, that was a poor season 4. So for Stranger Things to come with that season 4, which felt like one of those reality TV shows where you're at the bottom and then they have to make some performance to get back on the top. That was a season 4 for me. I loved everything of it, and I'm looking forward.
Every episode had a movie budget. Every episode was $1 million. There's no way they could fail.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was really good.
But you know
I'll
what?
give you
I
that.
didn't even watch season 3, and I watched season 4, and it was great.
You don't need to watch season 3. I
Yeah.
don't remember anything that happened in it. And
I don't even know if they're connected anymore, to be honest. The seasons.
And that's why I
Yes.
watched season 4, and I totally understood everything.
Okay.
I have 2 more honorable mentions for animated series. Cyberpunk Edge Runners was really great. I think a lot of people, the interest in the Cyberpunk, the game, like exploded because of the show. It's a one-off. It's only 1 season. It's a limited series, and it was like really crazy emotional, and it was very stylish. If you're into cyberpunk aesthetic, it's a good one, and the music's really great in it too. And then I know we mentioned this before, but there was a Dragon Age animated show, Dragon Age Absolution, on Netflix. I recommend it for any like Dragon Age fans out there, especially anyone who's a fan of the Dragon Age Inquisition game, because it comes immediately after that game. So yeah, shouts out to that. I really enjoyed it.
I really want to mention Star Wars had 2 seasons.
Well, dude, we're not there yet.
Are we not there
We're
yet?
not talking about.
I
I
thought
think
we
we
were-
can.
just go
I
for
think
it.
we could.
We're
Let's
saying
go
that-
for it
for it.
because I'm ready.
Yeah, let's go into it. Let's get into
okay.
it.
Was there any other last minute thing that you wanted to
I mean, if we want to go before MCU, do you want to talk about Young Justice real quick?
I mean, we made an entire video about it. It's like, if you guys are curious to our thoughts on it, but overall, it was just lackluster. That's.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you want to say about it, Chuku?
I mean, I don't know. We should have a season 5 after that. That's what I want to say.
Oh my god, that's so sad.
I mean, like, you can always have a better season, right? They can always redeem themselves.
Do you think they could after what happened?
Probably not. I don't know.
I don't know. It just seemed like the quality got worse and worse. But I guess it was interesting because I feel like we're the only people who don't really like season 4. Seems like everyone likes season 4 over season 3.
Really?
Wow.
I'm confused because there was a definitely dip in quality.
Yeah, there's definitely a dip in quality. 100%.
Yeah.
Speaking of DC, real quick, this is a show like I personally haven't watched, but has like amazing like, I guess, reviews. Is like the Harley Quinn show. I feel like I want to.
yeah.
I want to start watching it. I think we should all start watching it because I guess they handle like all the lore really well in a really funny way. And I even heard they like kind of had like a Joker redeeming episode, which is crazy because like I watched the first couple episodes of Harley Quinn. He's like awful. He's like a terrible person. like not necessarily evil, but in a, like a, you know, douchebag sort of way, because Harley Quinn is obviously a comedic show. But it just seems like the writing is really good. People are saying there's a lot of heart to it, and like Harley's super likable, which I saw that from the first couple episodes. But I'm gonna start watching. I think
That's
maybe
an
we can
animated
all-
one?
Yeah, the Harley Quinn show. It's on HBO Max.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought DC because I thought Peacemaker was actually a pretty good show.
Was that this year?
Yeah, this was this year.
Okay, yeah, that was great.
That was a
great.
really good show.
That was
I like
great.
Peacemaker. Yeah, that's a good one.
Exactly.
I like
Peacemaker
John
was great.
Cena a lot.
Yeah.
It's on my list.
Good drama, good comedy, good action.
Perfect
Yeah,
comedy.
definitely.
So and then also, I watched the first 2 seasons of Only Murders in the Building this year.
Oh, so
The second season came out this year. I said I watched the first 2 seasons. I watched the first season and then I watched like the first 2 episodes of season 2. It felt so like weird. I don't know what happened, but I didn't enjoy the first 2 episodes and I just didn't continue with the show.
That's the same for
After
me. I
that.
didn't finish.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the first season I was like into it. Like I was enjoying it the whole time. And I thought it had a great story and everything like that. But then the second season, I don't know what happened, but oh well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
do
Same
we
with
want-
like She-Hulk. You know, like the first episode.
Okay, we're
was
starting
good.
with our Marvel already. All right, we're getting
Let's
into
go.
it.
Differing
Yeah.
opinions here.
No more.
but
We're
go
not going to
ahead.
talk about anime. We're just going to go to Marvel.
No,
Right.
we can talk about anime at the end.
Sure. All right.
And then, really quickly, the Terminal List and Reacher were also good shows. from this
Okay,
year.
so let's start with MCU. All right, we're gonna do MCU or Star Wars first.
Whatever you want to.
It doesn't matter, any order.
Okay, all right.
But She-Hulk first episode was good, and then the rest of it.
Was
it
the
just
first
went.
episode good?
It
The
was
first
good.
episode was good.
It had some good moments.
It was good.
It had
First
some
episode was good, and
moments.
the Daredevil episode was good too.
I don't trust that, but whatever.
It was okay.
I didn't finish
It
it
was
because
okay
you
at
guys
best.
were just hating on it so much,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I just felt no.
Yeah, but we had
Yeah.
a whole discussion about it. I want to hear your side.
Yeah, that's true. We already had our opinion.
I actually really enjoyed She-Hulk. I think because I didn't take it
Seriously?
maybe like I had no expectations on it. I really just thought it was more of like for comedic relief. Right? It did first 2 episodes for me was really good. In the middle, meh. And then when they introduced Daredevil, I was like, wow, this is actually really cute. And whatnot. I really thought it was like a fun
okay.
kind of TV show.
That
you know?
ending though, we need to talk about the ending a little bit.
What happened in the end again? Because I forgot.
Oh no! Did you even watch the end? It's when the robot named Kevin changed everything for She-Hulk.
Oh yes, I do remember that. And then it was like the Disney title screen, and she was like, "Oh, this is
Yeah, that
Breaking
was
the
like
fourth
one
wall.
of the worst endings I've ever seen in a TV show ever.
yeah." It was interesting, but you know what? I'm not mad at She-Hulk. I actually enjoyed the TV series.
Okay, I guess I can't argue with that.
Yeah, it wasn't. I wasn't expecting it to go like super deep or like go super into the comics or whatnot.
Yeah.
To give it its a fair praise, I should say, I will say the fact that it was sort of like, hey, we're gonna be a slice of life comedy thing. It's kind of good to have that, because I think with a lot of these Marvel things, they always feel like they have to be an adaptation. They always have to feel like everything has to be connected. So I will give it credit that it is one of those. I just wish it was a better one of those.
The
but, hey.
execution is the main thing I feel with like a lot of these MCU shows that we've had a problem with. And we also have another episode on all of the MCU shows and the reason like that we didn't like them, and that
Yeah.
the common thread, like the common problem that they all have, right?
Yeah.
And I think She-Hulk kind of fits into that in a similar way, where
Oh,
it's
how
just
so?
like, I think the biggest gripe was like, what is, I guess, the hierarchy of like the problems in the MCU now, and why should we care about any of this at this point that's going on in each of these separate standalone things? Because like every threat that comes up, it's like, okay, like who cares, and how does this fit into like now we have a cosmic problem going on in the movies, whereas in the shows we have these like bad guys that we're introduced to in the beginning, and then at the end like everything's like kind of resolved in like a weird like
think about
unresolved resolution.
The way that they resolved She-Hulk's story. If they like you've now created a character who can literally break into the real world and change a story. Why does anything matter? Like, who is Thanos?
You know, that's very true.
What? Like, you have to almost detach yourself from everything else that's going on, even though they've spent so much time and resources into like creating this connected universe. It's like, okay, so why would you do that, but then turn around and have something like this go on, where it's like, it just doesn't. It's
well, you could say the same for like the Eternals, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we agree. Although to She-Hulk's defense, at least they came in saying, "Hey, by the way, we kind of are just this silly
slice of life."
Like we like. She
but
even
like,
said
she's so goofy that she doesn't care about.
Not just that, but like I forgot when they had that one guy who's also in Doctor Strange. When they invited him, they
Wong.
When they had Wong in that one episode, she kind of mentioned, by the way, there's no tie-in. He's just here for a cameo. So I appreciate that versus like something like
exactly.
Moon
it's just
Knight
a fun show.
Moon Knight, where it's like, okay, you're gonna tell me we had gods here? Where were they during Thanos? So at least this show is like
there's a lot of shortcomings with all these.
Yeah. So at least that's the defense. I'll say that. But again, it's still a bad show, so I'm not excusing that. But
it's a bigger problem than the show itself. There's a bigger problem with the MCU connected series.
I think that everything they released this year, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, like they were all kind of meh.
Yeah.
Hawkeye. I don't even know if these came out this year. I'm including it because we're talking about the bigger problem.
I liked Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Hawkeye wasn't too bad. It was.
Hawkeye was like the only show. It's not this year, but it was
Loki,
the only show.
Right? Was better than Hawkeye.
I like Loki too, but Loki deals more with the universe of the MCU. Hawkeye was just like a self-contained story, which it's just fun.
It was fine. It wasn't my favorite. I liked Hawkeye Winter Soldier better.
Also, what was great was What If. I don't think that came out this year, but
or not
also
Hawkeye,
deals
Falcon,
with
Winter
all
Soldier.
that stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, which
at
one?
least What If is What If, so we don't have to worry about anything being a tie-in. So
yeah, I mean the whole MCU issues. Even aside from that, the shows by themselves are like meh.
They're just not very good.
I think, and that kind of relates to some of the Star Wars stuff that's been coming out.
Yeah.
I think Mandalorian is still on top. I think out of all the Star Wars series, and
was there a Mando episode or season this year?
No,
I don't think there was.
I'm just saying because I'm gonna segue into some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mandalorian's on top. No one's gonna touch it. It's like a cultural thing.
What do you mean by on top?
I think it's just the most. I think it's just the most popular.
Okay,
that's what I
you
meant.
mean.
It's
that's
not.
What you mean.
I know what you're trying to say. And then Obi-Wan came out. I'll be honest, I didn't watch it, but I know that it's not really well received.
It's met with a lot of with a couple of really like great moments.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in general,
I can't speak on it because the really only thing that like I was like really into was Andor, and it's because I think Rogue One is like one of the best Star Wars films to come out in like recently.
Yeah.
Like better than really anything in like, the Skywalker series.
Yeah.
Better than the prequels.
Andor is the best thing that has come out of Star Wars probably since the original trilogy.
Yeah, Andor is really good.
Interesting.
I agree. I think there's just so many good elements, like, and it's like they handle it and execute it really well. I mean, you've got heist elements, you've got like espionage elements. It's all really great, and the performances are really good because I feel like in this universe, like sometimes I can't handle how like corny it is. I know that's like part of like the charm of Star Wars, but I don't know. I never really got like too into it, and like unfortunately, I never watched like the animated series. I will eventually, but watching like Mandalorian, I just never felt the amount of heightened tension that I get from Andor.
Yeah,
And I really
exactly.
like it. I think some people say like, oh, like you could replace the Star Wars element in Andor with anything else and it'll be like fine on its own. Like what makes it so good? What like
Yeah,
that,
that's
that's
the
what
point.
makes
That's
it
the point.
good. That's what makes it good. Like just because it doesn't have like corniness, like you're gonna like no. Like it's I mean it's
Yeah.
still got like great like not sci-fi but like Star Wars specific things in it where you're like it's unmistakable. This is a Star Wars series, but they're just handling the more like seedier
Yeah.
under business of the rebellion in the series and they handle it really well.
I think Andor is not just a good Star Wars show. It's a good show on Disney Plus. I think it's the best show on Disney Plus. I don't know any better show
agree.
on Disney
I
Plus
agree.
than Andor because
Yeah.
Andor. This is the thing that Andor does right better than all these like Marvel shows. For starters, it has like 12 episodes.
Yeah.
So we're building up something. It's not just some 6 episodes thing where it's like, oh, we got a big threat, and then at the end it's like, oh shit, we got to finish that threat, and then like there's no
Yeah.
character development to it. So there was a lot of build up. It just feels like it just feels like again it doesn't feel like a typical Star Wars movie. You actually get to know what it's like to like what are the people's lives like. So it nails that really well. It's just for me it's crazy because for me I will admit the first few episodes I wasn't feeling it. But
I know
until
I'm
that-
actually surprised. Like, when did you finish it? Because I remember the last time we talked, you were like, "I'm not into it."
Yeah,
What happened?
because
I'm surprised too.
Yes. So what happened was that after OC was talking about watching Andor, I gave it a chance, and then I think once I got to like episode 3, that's when I realized, okay, this is something different.
The
This is
stakes
something
are so
unique.
high. Like the rebellion feels like a rebellion. Like people are fighting tooth and nail
Exactly.
against the order.
All
and
right,
it's-
Not to
all right.
mention the
Shuku has been
cinematography
converted.
is great.
Hell
The
yeah,
music
good.
is great. Like,
It
no, I have to
is.
go in, and then now I know
Oh,
what
you've
you're
seen
talking
it
about.
too.
That
Yeah.
one speech.
Oh, that's just
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Alexander
That OC was
finished it, but
talking
I watched
about.
not Alexander.
Oh,
I
I
Yes.
watched up to like the last 10.
Yeah,
Stellan
Stellan
Skarsgård.
Skarsgård's speech is amazing. The
So-
show is amazing.
Yeah.
I implore you to go back and watch Rogue One because it's gonna hit different because that movie's so good. I know you like weren't like really into it, but like I don't
think-
know now, like just maybe with a fresh outlook, like check out Rogue One.
I mean, of course, okay, my thing with Rogue One, it's not to say it wasn't a bad movie. I said it was the best movie that came out recently for Star Wars.
Okay.
My thing was just that now, obviously, with the characters of Andor, it's going to feel different. But before, it's like
Yeah.
we didn't really get to be attached to the characters. So I felt like the plot was what made this more interesting than the characters. But of course, now with Andor, with this whole story building up, it's going to feel definitely
Yeah.
different.
They
Now we
get to
got-
they get to spend more time with the characters so you can like care about them.
Yeah.
And I really love this formula of like a 3-episode arc of things. And it worked for Arcane, and
Yeah.
it's certainly working for Andor.
yeah, definitely, yeah. So.
Nice. I will definitely check it out now that
Yeah, you should.
that all y'all
You
are
should.
doing it. Okay, wait. So let's go ahead and close off with any like rapid fire for TV shows, and then we can talk a little bit about anime at the end.
Okay.
Okay.
But-
Wednesday Addams. That was.
Okay, I thought it was
I watched
enjoyable.
the first couple episodes.
I
Yeah,
thought
it
it
was
was really
enjoyable.
enjoyable. I
It was
enjoyed
okay.
it. I enjoyed it for what it was.
Didn't get to watch it yet. It's still really new, but
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a very teen-oriented show.
It is,
so-
but
I like
because
Jenna
it's
Ortega.
comedy, I can forgive a lot of the stupidity in it.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
it's a better comedy than She-Hulk, so yeah.
I'll check it.
That's my honorable mention.
Anything
that's
else?
it.
Those are we mentioned.
Oh, White
pretty much
Lotus. Did
everything.
not
Oh,
like
yeah,
it.
White
Sorry,
Lotus.
guys.
I liked it. I liked
I got
season
looked
2.
into it.
I thought it was much better than season 1.
Too hot to handle. I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
season
No,
2
we're not
is
gonna go to
better, but I
reality.
still can't get into it. Don't know
For
why.
sure.
Okay, then let's talk anime a little bit. I
Okay.
don't know how much anime you guys have watched this year, but recent anime that just finished their winter season, I guess. My Hero is actually pretty good this
Yeah,
time
My
around.
Hero.
Really?
That was
Wait,
that
there was a
twist.
disappointing time around. Wait,
Yeah,
I haven't caught up because I
I
mainly
think
just
I'm
read
stuck
my
in the
stuff.
disappointing time right now. I
yeah.
haven't been
Season 4 was very
motivated to
lackluster.
watch.
Oh,
That's
wow.
where I am
Hero.
right now. I'm also not caught up, but I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear because I did like the characters a lot.
I was about to say, nobody watched season 5?
No.
Season 5 wasn't
not
bad.
caught up.
This wasn't this season 5?
This is season 6.
This is season 6?
Yes, we're on season 6, bro.
Oh man, shoot.
I think
I might be mixing up seasons.
We
then.
might have to cut this
Ooh.
whole section
Yeah.
out of the video.
Yes, but yeah, overall, this has been a good. Yeah, this has been a good season of My Hero. The twists have been crazy. I did not see that one coming. I can't spoil it since
Stop,
it's
stop.
What's the season where Lemillion loses his powers?
Season 3?
Season
I think it's 3.
Three.
So I'm stuck in season 4 right now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So-
Interesting.
Okay.
The,
Interesting.
the schlump.
Well,
For
either
sure.
way, like for me personally, My Hero got kind of like okay-ish, like too boring at a certain point. but
Season 4.
the recent season was actually really good.
Yes, this has been really great. I've been loving it.
Spy Family.
Spy Family.
Spy Family's
Great.
very
I'm enjoying Spy
wholesome.
Family.
So
First
cute.
season.
It's very wholesome, very cute.
I am a little bit confused about the like extreme fandom around Spy Family. Maybe it's just because I've only seen the first season, but like
Season
I'm
2
seeing
hasn't come out
people. Oh, it hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it has.
It is?
Yeah,
I'm sure it has.
Oh.
I
it
think
came out
it's just
this season, the same time as My Hero.
Oh,
Okay.
never mind.
The big shows that came out this like recently is My Hero, Spy Family, Bleach, 1,000-Year War,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man.
and Chainsaw
But yeah, the
Man.
reason why, because a lot of people, I'm seeing a lot of people put Spy Family in like their top 5 animes of all time, and I'm like,
Okay.
is it
Yeah,
that great?
I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
I don't know why.
Interesting.
I feel
Yeah.
like
Nah, I
people that
fully-
are saying that are it's just
fully
because
watch
like it has a good aesthetic. It's very like uplifting and fun, and
Yeah,
the characters are all like
you're not
like, it's
wrong, but I
great, it's
understand
fun,
it's
but-
hyper popular right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think it's like a little bit of like an echo chamber effect. I
Yeah.
think people are like just kind of echoing each other, like, yeah, it's great, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I went to like I went to the
Anime
Anime Expo. Literally,
Yeah, we talked
all
about
the
this at some point.
cosplays were like
Spy
Spy
Family, yeah.
Families. Some about
I
the
really just
kids.
think it's because the kid's cute. Like that's pretty much.
That makes sense.
I mean, overall, the show itself is fun to watch. It's
Yeah.
it's
It
definitely
is, it
entertaining,
is.
and the storyline is also like
yeah.
memorable.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that people are putting in their like top 5.
I've
That's
been seeing it.
extreme.
I've been
That's
seeing
wow.
that. Like,
Have you guys watched Mob Psycho?
Yes.
Great
I'm
one.
almost caught up with season 3. It's been crazy, man. It's
Pretty
oh
good?
my god. It's
I've been wanting to watch.
love it.
It's
I love
great.
it.
It's different.
It's
Yeah.
it's well done. It's well put. I like it because it's funny, but it's like has good really character development and drama into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, and the action's pretty cool. So it's really well done.
Eee, Okay, I like
So
that.
I love
I like that.
Mob's a good one.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what
Mob.
I've-
I forgot to mention Mob.
That's
Oh my
what
gosh.
I've been hearing.
Yeah.
That's
It's
what
okay.
I've been
Mob's
hearing.
not as popular as these.
It's
other
not.
Ones.
I think it's because of the way that it's animated. Like a lot of people don't like that style.
Or the art
either.
style.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind of like less detailed, more like blocky looking, right?
a little bit.
Yeah.
But-
But it's still like the story is great. It's very comedic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. I'm definitely gonna check it out. I haven't yet, but that's one that I've heard a lot about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying Bleach as well.
Ooh.
I read the manga a very long time ago, so I don't remember everything that happened.
What
But-
season is this?
Huh?
What season of Bleach is it?
We don't do seasons with Bleach.
It's the same of.
This is
it's,
an arc.
It's like One Piece,
This
dude.
is an arc. This is the 1,000-year Blood War arc or something.
It's the 1,000th episode, like the 100,000th episode.
An anime that disappointed me was Shinobi no Itoki. Just boring.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I have to say.
I haven't even heard
You
of
have to
that.
go
Yeah.
into it.
Okay.
But yeah, how far are you guys in Chainsaw Man? Because for me, I'm like episode 5.
Episode
Haven't
1.
started yet.
I'm on, like,
I'm caught up all the way, so
I-
I think they just ended the mid-season. I think
Oh.
for a whole bunch of animes.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's shaping up to be like good, but I'd say the beginning episodes were like
Yeah.
at least the first episode was really good, and then the episodes afterwards were like okay, like I don't understand the hype type of episodes,
Yeah.
and then towards the end it's starting to get more interesting to. I'm
Yeah.
like curious to see
Yeah.
what happens.
I'm on 19.
19.
Yeah.
There's a 19 episode on. Are you talking about manga?
Oh, you know what? Maybe it's because Crunchyroll does a thing where it's like sub dub and they count it as like
Oh, I see.
2 different
Oh.
episodes.
Okay, that scared me. I was like, what the hell?
I'm pretty sure there's only like 12 or 13 episodes.
Okay, yeah. So 19 on Crunchyroll.
Okay.
It's just like the dub.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I know the dub's further, but I've been slow on the dub. But overall, I mean, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I do agree with I understand the joke with his motivation, and I know they go deeper
Yeah.
behind it. But to me, my only issue with it was that it's not that he can't have that as a motivation. I think that can work for any anime character. I just think it took out of the it feels like it takes out of the tone. Like it's like this tone is supposed to be dark, and then it's like, by the way, I like titties, and it's just like it just comes off a little bit. It takes out of the tone of the show, but and then a lot of the jokes just come out of the tone. But besides that, yeah, the animation, the
It looks
gore,
amazing.
everything, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
And like, do you guys get Jujutsu Kaisen vibes from it?
Sort of.
A little
In
bit.
fact, I think there was a picture where it shows both of them together and they're like, oh, these look just like the same characters. So yes, there is sort of a Jujutsu Kaisen vibe into
Yeah.
it, but I think that at least with Chainsaw Man, there is. That's true because they both talk about like life, the meaning of life. I think Chainsaw's themes are more consistent, and you can see it through all the through how it's played versus Jujutsu Kaisen. Sometimes it feels kind of random.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think
Was that this year too?
no, that was
No.
That was last year.
I think Jujutsu Kaisen is not as good as Chainsaw Man
Interesting.
so far. Just, I mean, you guys know my personal take on Jujutsu Kaisen. I think it's like super okay, mid.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
it is overrated, like heavily overhyped and overrated.
Okay.
yeah.
But Chainsaw Man, you think is perfectly rated as it is right now?
No, I think it's overrated too, but it's like
less so than Jujutsu.
Yeah,
Jujutsu
less
Kaisen
so.
was Jujutsu
Yeah.
Kaisen was very hyped. I like the character design of Chainsaw Man.
I think you're definitely gonna like it because it's inspired by a lot of American horror. And all
Yeah,
that.
no, I definitely got that with the first episode when like all that gore was happening. I like animated gore, so when I was
Yeah.
seeing that, I was like, yeah, this is sick.
That and the
and
theme song had homages to like what's it
film,
called?
like all films.
Yeah,
ever.
exactly.
Yeah, no,
So-
I really like the whole like intro part. When I seen like some cosplays of Chainsaw Man, and they're really cool. Like I really like that character design, and yeah, I'm excited to like
Yeah.
learn more about that universe. It seems really silly and absurd, but in like a good way. So I'm
Now
gonna
that
be
I'm-
in for a wild ride.
now that I'm thinking about it, minor, very very minor spoiler, but like I think the similarity is like Jujutsu Kaisen. They're like looking for stuff,
Mhm.
and then now they're also starting to look for stuff in Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that vibe is very very
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I got from it, at least from the most recent episodes,
but-
because it's
But
So
at the
it's a
very
fetch
least,
quest.
Chainsaw Man seems more realistic and
Mhm.
more grounded than Jujutsu Kaisen, where
Yeah.
like they had that whole training thing, and they're like, I don't know.
Jujutsu
it's just-
Kaisen is more of like My Hero Academia plus,
Yeah, it's a bit more fantastical versus the tone of Chainsaw Man is definitely darker.
Yes.
yeah.
Um,
I think another anime that came out, I think season 2 came out this year, of Rising of the Shield Hero.
you're right.
I
I
think
haven't checked that out. Have you?
It's okay. I didn't finish the whole season because I read it. See, that's a problem with me. Like I'll read it and I'll not watch the anime.
Yeah.
But I don't have high hopes for it. It's very
All right.
into that anime
I'm
trope.
dropping it. I'm
yeah.
dropping it.
It's the whole savior, but he also has a dark kind of
Yeah.
aura about him.
I mean, towards the end of season 1 for that show, it started falling off for me. So
Yeah.
if season 2 it continues, then there's no point.
Oh
I
yeah.
tried pushing myself through season 2 and I couldn't do it.
I trust your guys' like anime recommendations
Okay.
and
Well,
judgments.
does anybody see a ranking of Kings?
I've
Yeah.
seen that.
Okay.
Is that was that this year?
Yeah, that came out this year.
Yeah, it was good overall.
Okay, I saw the first episode. I need to finish it. So,
Yeah, I think the ending's a little cheesy, but like overall as a show, it's good.
but if we won't talk about animes that disappoint me. Let's talk about Attack on Titan.
Let's not. Honestly, let's
It's like actually really sad.
let's just
I have not
we should
watched
wait
it.
until. I'm
talking about
personally-
part 2.
Part 2, yeah.
I
'Cause
don't
part
spoil it for
1
me.
is all right in my eyes.
Right now, I'm waiting to
Part 1 was great.
I'm waiting to see how the story shakes out with part 3. Part 2 was okay. I mean, like, there was a lot that happened in part 2.
Well, the issue is that
I just don't know what the significance of them is.
Yeah, the issue for me is that I read the manga.
Me too. I read the manga.
Yeah.
So that's why we're more disappointed.
Well,
So-
well, it's not
Wait,
even
does
just
it-
that. I
does
was
it
disappointed before the manga.
Diverge from the manga?
no. it's
Okay.
Not so far.
I was disappointed before the manga. Now after reading the manga, because it made me read the manga after seeing part 2.
Yeah,
I'm
same-
like,
same
even
here.
worse. But point is, I don't know.
Let's just wait for it to end.
Fine.
and
They're
then
just
we'll
like
talk about
drawing it out to like kind of
Yeah.
get as much juice they can from it at this point, which is I
before
feel like
before everyone starts hating on it.
Well, it's
Before-
really
before
sad.
it
Like I heard
ends.
the creator is like scared to come to America because of how much people hate it.
Yeah.
I feel
What?
sorry. Really, I didn't know it was
Yeah,
that bad.
like he's.
They're all
It's
going-
really sad. Like I
He's
feel
getting a lot of
bad.
hate. He's getting a lot of hate.
remember like in the beginning when we were doing a lot of like Attack on Titan discussions, and I like made the comparison to like Game of Thrones
Yes.
because there are some similar elements in the storytelling
Yeah, no,
and in
at
the
the very
story.
beginning, yeah.
But now it's also kind of interesting that the real life part of things like is parallel also to Game of Thrones, where
Yes.
it's I mean the first couple seasons of Attack on Titan are like goated. Like they're S tier, like amazing storytelling and visuals. Even with like I know like the visuals are great now because it's Mappa, but even Wit Studios was like pretty good. And then like now it's like kind of like turning to shit, and I feel like that's just like what happened with Game of Thrones. So it's like very like interesting, like just like something that I noticed.
I mean, I have a theory about what happened with Game of Thrones, but we don't have to get into that.
Do you think
And
it's similar to what's happening with Attack on Titan?
possibly? I don't know enough about the ending of Attack on Titan yet. So
I mean, we know what happened with Game of Thrones. They wanted to go to Star Wars. They wanted to move.
no.
Yeah.
I have like a more
About the story, about
philosophical.
the protagonist and like the
just
direction, the
way
path that they go down. Yeah.
the protagonist and like the way in which specifically George R. R. Martin crafted his world. I feel like
Right.
the ending was inevitable in a
I
certain
mean,
sense.
it's fine that
not necessarily that particular ending, but the disappointment around that the fans have. I feel like it was almost inevitable. But
You
I don't
you
have to
haven't
get
read
into
the
it.
I
manga, right?
disagree.
No.
I
Okay.
strongly
Yeah,
disagree.
we don't have to get into it. We don't have to get into
I
it.
think it has a little bit of production elements plus that,
Okay,
in my opinion.
interesting.
yeah, because execution wise, it could have been better. But,
Yeah.
And then for this story for Attack on Titan, like it's really up to the writer. You know.
Yeah.
It's all up to him.
Exactly.
So the way he did it, I can't get behind. it.
Yeah.
But it's very unfortunate that it's translating to real life because this is just like art. Like, people should not be like hating on them so hard that they should be afraid. That's like not good.
Yeah.
I can see
Yeah.
that, but I also feel like it might be an over exaggeration.
Well, it's because
I hope so.
Like, you know how crazy fans.
Yeah,
can
I know
get.
fans
Yeah, I was about to
are-
say the fandom for Attack on Titan has been this like, I mean, just
what? What are you saying
Fandoms
about
in-
me? No, just kidding.
Fandoms in general are kind of crazy.
People
Yeah.
get killed over like
What?
stupid stuff. Yeah, like sports fan, like just fans in general. When you
fandoms
have
can be.
when you hit that like crazy fandom who will kill people literally because of like what they feel, it's scary.
Yeah.
That is scary.
Exactly.
I think best case scenario is like they pull it out and it ends on a good note. I hope so. I mean, I really loved Attack on Titan the first couple seasons.
I heard they were gonna they're planning on making a sequel,
movie.
so maybe
a sequel.
something like
Yeah.
that or
Interesting.
whatever.
I'm just sad that like when someone asks me, "Oh, what's your favorite anime or one of your favorite animes?" I can't say Attack on Titan anymore.
That's
It's
me.
like
Okay,
it
so
was
actually-
Game of Thrones, but not anymore.
I don't. This might be this brings me to a question, and I guess we can just end it off with this. Is like, could you say something's a masterpiece even though it may have a lackluster
No.
ending? So you're basically saying Dragon Ball Z can't be a masterpiece.
Huh?
You can't say Dragon Ball Z is a masterpiece.
What do you mean? I enjoy Dragon Ball Z.
But you're not gonna tell me the ending was not lackluster.
For Dragon Ball Z?
Yes.
With Boo?
Yes, that was lackluster.
I mean, like when I watched it as a kid, I was like,
Yeah, but
Let's
no,
go,
but
Spirit
it's
Bomb.
off this argument. It cannot be because that was lackluster.
I love the
The
ending.
quality got worse. We gotta admit that.
What?
It did.
Goku holding the Spirit Bomb?
Yes, but
Hercule
it's
being
like, you mean to tell me
telling the Earth to,
No,
to raise their hands? I love that.
that was nice, but the whole I mean, they couldn't not use fusion to defeat Boo. Like
Okay.
they were being dumb at that moment.
Well, Goku is dumb
admitting,
sometimes.
saying, "You know what? I could have beat Majin Buu earlier, but I just want to give everyone a chance." Like, what the hell?
He's dead. It makes sense.
No, bro. It's not even that, bro.
This is a different
Okay,
discussion.
well, let's
My
all right,
point
guys,
here-
let's go
let's
back.
end it there.
Let's go back to a specific, example. Like you said, Game of Thrones, and in this case, Attack on Titan. Like,
That
can they be
could we-
considered masterpieces? At this point, no. But we can say like, hey, I love this arc of
Yeah,
Attack on Titan.
I
That's one
love
of my favorite
seasons 1, 2,
anime
3.
arcs of all time, and that's how you have to discuss it now. And the
Yeah.
same thing with Game of Thrones. Like, oh, like I liked this season. I loved.
Anyways,
yeah.
we
Okay.
definitely went on some tangents on this, but I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion of best and worst of 2022 TV shows and animes. Let us know your picks down below in the comments, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.